With Mother's Day this weekend, for many, it's a day that can bring about feelings of loss and grief if you've lost your mom or have lost children of your own. Dr. Sheryl Zeigler joins us now to share some tips on how to cope with those feelings. You know, it's not a fun weekend of celebration for a lot of people. It can bring about those feelings. So how do you cope with those feelings and grief?
Yeah, I think it's important to understand there's grief, which is the natural response to a loss. And then there's a period that we call bereavement, where, you know, it's difficult to just go about your daily life and things don't feel normal. So then there's triggers, there's these grief triggers. And certainly Mother's Day for many people can be one of them. So it's really helpful to plan for that ahead of time, to really have a plan. What are you going to do on that day? How are you going to really honor that person? And then maybe can you also be able to enjoy and celebrate yourself if you're a mother or if you're going to be with someone else. The other thing is sometimes people will still buy a gift like they would for their mother, or they'll still do something that they would have done together. And it's a way to keep their legacy going.
Right.
And so I think, you know, those two things can be really helpful while this is a really hard time.
A way to honor them in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And how do you talk to kids who've lost a mom?
Yeah, it's really hard, right? But I think that kids often feel what they call as like untethered, like really sort of ungrounded, floating out there, not sure how to navigate life. And so I think whoever is their caregiver, don't avoid looking at pictures, talking about them, doing the whole memory thing. I think a lot of times when it comes to kids, we want to be really delicate and we think, oh my gosh, maybe we shouldn't talk about them too much, it'll make them too upset. And really the research says that it's very helpful for them when people just openly talk about their mother and ask them to share memories and pictures and things like that.
Right. Remember the good times in a lot of ways too.
Yes.
You know, now that a lot of people are going back to work, some people might be working on Mother's Day. How do you communicate some of that grief and loss to your coworkers?
Yeah, that's a really good one, because I think that other people around someone who's in grief often don't know what to say or do either. So I think it's helpful to say how you're feeling, which I acknowledge is actually really hard for people, but just to say something even simply like, yeah, today's a happy day for many, but not so much for me. Yeah. Or today's a really difficult day, so I hope you can go easy on me because I'm trying to go easy on me. And that's something we talk about in the grief world a lot, is just go easy on yourself. Life is hard, life is demanding, but there are certain periods of time where you have to slow down and go easy on yourself. So I think if the person who's in grief can just even say one or two things, it's enough usually to let other people know, okay, I understand.
And I think it's so important to be aware and to be perceptive too, that it might not be a celebration for many.
Right.
And a lot of people are dealing with grief and loss. So I do appreciate you coming in and sharing some advice on how to cope.
Thank you.
All right, we'll send things over to you, Ed.